So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's see what Spanky's got to say today. Good morning, everybody. Time for a cup of Joe. My videos come about sometimes from the strangest reasons. And in today's episode, I wanted to share with you something that I wasn't even thinking about until a friend came over and had some coffee with me, who asked me a question because he saw some boxes on the counter, and he asked me what that was. And I told him, and he had no idea that that kind of service was available and that you could order this product and the benefits from it. So I figured, hey, I jotted it down on a piece of paper. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to share some of what I do with you guys. Let me show you what it's about. Let's let this thing kick off here because I can smell it and it smells good. All right, so first off, let me get something clear. What I'm about to show you in these boxes right here, we're gonna unbox together. I paid for this. This is not a sponsored ad. I don't want it to come across as me trying to sell you something, snake oil or something like that. This is just me sharing with my friends something that I use that does me a wonderful job, and I'm gonna kind of give you a few of the benefits for what it does and tell you how it's helped me without trying to sell you something or give you knowledge that you're not ready to hear right now, but I'm gonna show you how to find it when you are ready to hear. So first off, I'm gonna show you that I bought this. I'm not going to show you the invoice, but because it's got my name and everything on it. But hey, this is the invoice. It is an invoice, not a packing list. It is got what's come on it. But anyway, it's been paid for, and I'm sharing you this because this is what I believe in. And this product right here is Driven Racing Oil. Driven Racing Oil started out because Joe Gibbs, NASCAR Joe Gibbs, NFL Joe Gibbs, was having problems with NASCAR engines. So he got all of his racing buddies, all of the engineers, all of the oil geeks out there, all together, and told them that he was tired of his problem, he wanted it fixed. He didn't care how much it cost. So this company was never meant to be a public company or anything like that. It was meant to help Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, fast forward to today, it is a company that is full of technology. And if you're an oil geek or anything like that, you can dive into it and spend months learning about it. I'm a car geek, so all I want to know is it the best I can get? How much does it cost, and does it work? Well, let me fast forward through my knowledge of oils, and I can tell you for all the years that I've been using this, and I use it in all of my cars, even my daily drivers, that it is the best product that I can find without it being top secret government something. I mean, this is the best product that I can find. Now, is there stuff just as good? Yes, there is. I haven't found it. I haven't used it. When you find something that works, stick with it. Hey, look, if the cheap oil from the nickel and dime store down the street works for you, then keep using it. If you're using a high dollar motor and you want protection, you want extra horsepower because of the oil, then do your research, try this brand out. Now, this stuff comes in a kit, comes with all of your oils. It comes with, and this is a true unboxing right here, guys. It comes with 6 quarts, or 10 quarts, or 11 quarts, or 12 quarts, whatever you're changing the oil in. Each of their oils is designed for a particular project. It could be NHRA, it could be NASCAR, it could be circle track cars, it could be diesel racing, it could be your everyday car, fuel injected car, carbureted car, cars on alcohol. It's a product that is geared for your usage. Each of their categories is also got different viscosities. Woo, I got the word right. You know, the 10W40 type deal, that's your viscosity. So when I was a kid and I didn't know what I was doing, I went down to the parts store, and my car wasn't a race car. It was, it's the old Chevelle, but it had a stock motor in it. I got 50 weight racing oil. Why? Well, the 50 was the highest number that they had, and it said racing right on the can. I didn't know. And let me tell you, the viscosity is, the oil's gonna be, all of it's gonna be slippery. The viscosity part of it is how thick the oil is. So when you got a very tight clearance motor and you've got to have oil going around your camshaft, between your camshaft and your bearings, or your rods and your bearings, or whatever, your crank and your bearings, you're trying to get that oil in that little tight space. The thicker oil is getting in there, but it's having a hard time doing it. And with it's having a hard time doing it, it's heating up. When the oil heats up, it breaks down. It sticks to the side of your motor. It sticks to the tops of your pistons. It sticks to stuff it don't need to be stuck to. When you open that valve cover and you see that big mass of gooey, thick stuff that's stuck to everything, that's more than likely cheap oil for one, and you had the wrong viscosity. I mean, so if you had an engine that had really tight bearing clearances and you put a 5 weight oil in there, well, chances are that's not going to work either, because that oil is not 100% around those bearings. I'm not here to educate you on the oil, just kind of giving you an idea of why you need to go dig deeper, know your oil, and pick the right oil out. Now, I've got 2 different boxes of oil here. I've got one that's for the 32 Roadster. We're going to change the oil in it. And I've got one for the blown Pro Street car, the 71 Chevelle that I've had since I was 15 years old. Built it in my mom's driveway. You've seen the car on the channel, but not a whole lot. I'm going to start showing it to you because I'm going to start driving it a lot more. The first thing I'm going to do is get the braking oil out of it and put the proper oil for a blown big block in the car, so that the oil is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And did I know all the knowledge and which oils that I needed? No, I didn't. If you call directly, you will get a professional race car driver / engineer / oil geek on the phone if you call Driven. Now, you can buy this Driven oil at many different shops. You can buy it at speed shops online. You can buy it on Amazon, eBay, wherever you want to buy it. But let me tell you, right now they've got a deal, and that's why I bought 5 kits. I bought 5 kits for 5 different cars that I've got that I change the oil in about every other year, because this oil is gonna last you. Those cars don't get the mileage that your everyday car gets. So I'm gonna guess and say that I probably put about 4,000 to 5,000 miles a year on each of the cars that I'm gonna change the oil in. Excuse me, that's not right. Probably 2,000 to 3,000 miles a year on each of the cars that I'm gonna change the oil in. The Roadster last year saw probably around 4,000 miles, so it's gonna get the oil changed again. And it'll last longer than that, but for me to understand and keep up with it, that's how I do it. Too many cars to keep up with, and I wanna make sure they're all protected. Not really that crazy about the extra horsepower or anything like that, and those are all dyno results. You'd have to be a dyno geek, horsepower geek to understand, but yes, this product will get you extra horsepower. And what I like to say is there's insurance in every bottle, meaning that this stuff is engineered for muscle cars. A lot of oils don't have zinc in them. That wipes out your cam bearings, that wipes out your lifters, stop spinning, which wipe out the lobes on your camshaft. It goes on, and this video is not for that. I'm just sharing this product with you, and I use it, and I want you guys to use it, but I want you to use it on your own. Buy it. I'm not making any money. There's not going to be any links in this video sending you anywhere. Matter of fact, I may put the link in there to Driven Motor Oil and let you find their website so you can go on there and find out what oil you want for your car. Now, while I'm on the Driven website, check it out. If it's a oil, a grease, a lube, an additive for your water, an additive for your gasoline, a cleaning product like brake cleaner, etc., they have got that stuff on there. Additives for your antifreeze. A lot of you guys are changing to aluminum radiators. There's a lot of different stuff in your antifreeze that will corrode that aluminum radiator, or a set of aluminum heads that you've got on there, or you may have an aluminum block. So a lot of that stuff, there's anodes that you put in your radiator that attracts that negative, positive chemical reaction that some of that stuff's got. But they've got additives to put in there that'll do the same thing. I use that. They have a special oil for your blower. I've got that in my on my Chevelle. So I've been using this for a long, long time. Pretty much ever since it was made out to the public. So I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not an oil geek or anything like that. There's professionals out there that do this stuff for a living. Those are the guys you need to talk to. But back to what you get. The reason I bought 5 kits. They have a special on them right now on the Driven website. I get an email from them because I bought stuff from them before. Right now, and this is a date-sensitive video on this particular deal, you get they have a race wax that is really a nice spray-on wax. Race cars, show cars, whatever you want to do. This is free in the kits right now, which is a huge value. And I want to say these kits that I bought, the cheapest one was probably about 80 bucks, and the most expensive one I think was around 90 bucks. So there's not a whole lot of difference. The everyday cars, that the conventional oils that they have, they're straight up great for your everyday street rod, your everyday pickup truck. So, yep. So those are going to be a little cheaper. But anyway, the kit comes with all your oil. It comes with a Wix filter, which is probably the best filters on the market. Because I've had filters where you change your oil, you put on a name brand filter, and all of a sudden you go inside, you fire your car up, you're checking your oil pressure and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, your needle used to ping at 40 to 50 PSI on your oil pressure, and now it's sitting on 15. And you just changed the oil, and you're worried, what did I do wrong? And that's one of the reasons I found this company. It wasn't the oil, and it wasn't anything that I had done wrong. It was the filter. The oil was not going through the filter properly. And I took that name brand filter off, and I put a Wix filter on there, and my oil pressure was perfect. And it was all because of the filter. So don't let these things, I've had some friends that had filters that were absolutely, they blew off the car because they had so much oil pressure, and the restriction that the filter was doing blew the oil pressure off the car, or blew the seal out of it because it was building up so much pressure and it wasn't running through the engine. It was all getting right here. It's like blowing a balloon up, and you know, eventually it's going to have enough and it's going to pop on you. And that's what the oil filter's done. So I learned my lesson on that. Each kit also comes with a shop towel to clean up after yourself. It comes with a decal to put on your window to where you can write your mileage down if you don't do it annually like I do. And it comes with a little sticker that you can put under the hood so that, you know, if you forget what you put in there, it's got a sticker that tells you which one of their oils it's got and which viscosity that it's got. I said that word again. I'm proud of myself. It also comes with this kit right here. It comes with a microfiber towel to put the wax on. So if you don't take advantage of these kits now, you won't see there, because this kit will be discontinued after the Power Tour. It's a special kit that they've got. I've never had them put this in before, and they put it in. So I got 5 bottles of this stuff now. One came with each kit. So take advantage of that and get you a kit. Now, if you went down to your parts store and you bought oil, it's not gonna cost you any less than this right here. If you bought a good oil and a good filter, and you're not gonna get the wax, and they'll ship it straight to your door in a box ready to go. You got everything from your gloves, your towels, your wax, your filter. All you gotta do is have a floor jack and some labor, and you're good to go. Something else, I even bought a kit. Well, I'm gonna buy a kit. I bought a kit for my wife's air-cooled Volkswagen. That was the 5th kit that I bought. But they sell special oils for your Porsches, your air-cooled motors, that they rely on the oil to keep the motor cool because they have no water in there. So that's very, very critical. Your exotic high-end 12-valve, 12-cylinder exotic motors, all the way up to your tractor pulls and your NASCARs and your sprint cars. They've got it all. And every one of their products, like I said, breaks it even down into much more detail. So you got to go check them out. All right, I'm not going to tell you that you're never going to have engine trouble, but I promise you, if you pick Driven motor oil, it's not going to be the oil's fault. So with that said, let's get on over to the cars and let's start changing some oil and get that Roadster ready for the Roadster run, and hopefully get the old Chevelle ready for the Power Tour. That's my plans. Not promising you that it's going to be on the Power Tour, but I'm waiting on some new rear tires for it right now, and if they come, we're going to hit the Power Tour. With all luck, we may be on the Power Tour with that. If not, we'll pick something else, and hope to see some of you guys out there. So now let's go get our hands greasy. All right, so before we get started jacking it up and draining the oil, I'm going to show you what I picked and what I've been running in this car since the braking oil came out of it. It's the HR2. It's their hot rod oil. It's a conventional 10W30 oil with all of my important additives, the ZDDP, which is your zinc additive, along with, my glasses are over there, but it's got all of the good stuff in it. So can you buy these additives to add to your cheap oil? Yes, but how much do you put in there? You put too much zinc in, you get chemical wear on your bearings. You don't put enough in, it's not doing any good, and your lifter stops spinning and you roll lobes on your camshaft. So it's kind of like medicine. You take too much medicine, you're gonna get sick. You don't take enough medicine, it's not gonna do you any good. So take what the doctor recommended, and that's what I'm doing with this motor oil with these additives in it. Now, the 10W30 is because this is a stock motor with stock clearances. It does have a camshaft in it and stuff like that. That's beside the point. It is stock built crate motor, roller crate motor. So because it's a roller, because it's got a stock clearance, that's where the 10W30 comes in. If it was a loose clearance motor built for higher horsepower, you might want to run a 20W50 or 30 weight straight or 50 weight straight. It could be whatever clearances you've got on your motor. If you built your motor, explain that to them and they'll recommend what you need. So this is what I've been running in this car and 2 of my other cars. So I keep some of this stuff in stock so I can top them off. So, let's get this thing jacked up. Let's put this in and let's go for a ride. All right, so everything underneath the bottom side went well. Now we need to do the top side, and I probably need to clean this old girl up a little bit on the engine part of it. I noticed that valve covers are getting a little dingy, and I've still never done the plug wires. I tell you, I've got the cloth plug wires to put on this, and laziness, I just hadn't done them. So we may try to do some of that before the Roadster run, but man, I never open my hood. This is about the only time I ever open it, is to do the oil. So I've got these Moonhouse valve covers, and I need to take this cover off right here. It's a breather slash filler. So you need to get an Allen wrench for that. That's how you put the oil in this thing. And it makes it a little harder when you've got to do this to add oil. But hey, it's got a cool factor to it, right? Well, there we go. Got this oil change done. Now let's move on to the Chevelle. All right, so don't laugh at how dirty this thing is. It's been sitting for a while again. I hate this hood. I've got a steel hood to go back on it and regular hood hinges. And I can't wait to have some free time to do that. So there we are. 500 plus cubic inches of blown big block Chevy. You gotta love it. So inside this blower, we do have the driven blower oil. This automatic transmission has got their synthetic transmission fluid and the LS gear oil for the 9-inch Ford out back. And in the last 10 years, 15 years or so since I've been running their products, it's been doing great. So now it's time to do an oil change on this. Now this car has got a fresh, so probably 500-mile big block motor in it. It had a small block blown motor in it for about 100,020 miles. 100,000, yeah. Since the early 80s. And just went back with a big block when that motor finally gave up. So let's get this break-in oil out and put in the driven racing oil that is designed for this motor. Okay, so just like with the 32, I got to give the description of what this motor was on the inside. Now, I built this motor, so therefore I knew more about it than I did the OEM motor, crate motor that's in the 32. So I kind of knew what my clearances were. I knew that it was a high horsepower motor. This motor dynoed somewhere around 975 with the pulley switched. And they're switched the opposite now. So instead of being 10% over, it's 10% underdriven, meaning the blower's turning slower than the motor. Swapping the pulleys around, the blower would turn 10% faster than the motor. A lot more horsepower, a lot more wear and tear on the motor. And when you're got one of these things on the street, hey, you can't tell the difference between, 500 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, or 600 horsepower, because obey the law and you can't use it. Anyway, on this motor, the GP1, this is a Pennsylvania grade oil. That's Pennsylvania grade oils are your best lubricating oil. That's the state of Pennsylvania. That's the part of the country that brings the oil up, and it's good oil. I guess those dinosaurs were pretty slippery back then. But anyway, that's where all of Driven's oils start. And when they start adding in the mineral oils and the other synthetics, that's where you get your synthetic blends from. There's nothing wrong with synthetic when it comes to oil, but I can think of a couple of things that I like natural better than synthetic. But hey, we're going to keep this a G-rated channel. Anyway, let's get this car in the air and put some of this good stuff in it. And hey, we're going to make more horsepower than it has right now just by putting this in. Wait, let's get this oil drained out of here. And we'll get back up on the top side and see how things look. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. And I'll tell you what, I am one clumsy dude. It never fails how bad you screw up. And it's always got something to do with oil. So let me get my messes cleaned up. We'll get this thing back on the ground and put some oil in before I forget. All right, so we are putting in the GP1 oil. We got the Wix filter on. Next step for this car is we're going to get it out. We're going to wash it, detail it just a little bit, not show car worthy or nothing like that. This old girl put her time in back in the 80s, and it's just been an enjoyable car ever since then. Yep, this is the way this one's going to stay. Too many other projects to go, but I do have a set of tires coming for it. I'm going to go ahead and put fronts and rears on. All of them are probably, like I said earlier, 27, 30 years old. And whether it's been garage kept or not, we know that's too old for tires to get on the highway and get hot. I should have taken this oil. I drained it and contaminated it into a universal oil drain bucket that I've got. But Driven has an oil analyzing kit where you can send your oil off and they'll let you know what's in it. Sometimes if you're on a budget, you may not want to know. And if you've got $40,000 or $50,000 in your motor, then you do want to know. I'm the guy that's on a budget. I don't want to know if I'm riding around in a ticking time bomb because it doesn't really matter. I don't want to spend the money now to fix it for what's going to happen later. I just soon drive it and let whatever happen later happen. So that's not the right way to be, but you know, that's just the way I am. I don't go to the doctor because I'm afraid what the doctor's going to tell me. So I just keep eating cheeseburgers and ice cream. I'm going to go ahead and put 5.5 quarts in. And then we'll top it off if need be. All right, so I got both cars done. I hope you guys stick around because we're fixing to take both of them for a ride. Let me go get cleaned up, double check, make sure we got the proper amount of oil in both of them, which we should. Didn't see any leaks, put 5.5 quarts in both of them. So let me get that done, let me get cleaned up, take you guys for a ride. First of all, I'd like to thank those folks over at Driven Motor Oil for making such a good product. And I hope you guys believe me when I tell you that this was not a paid sponsored ad, that it's just something that I feel like I needed to share with you. But I think they've earned a spot on the fridge here. So we're gonna give them a little bit more love because they too have a YouTube channel. Their channel will show you a lot more details about what their product is about. It'll answer a lot of your questions. So go check them out. Driven Racing Oil on YouTube. All right, guys, don't run off. We're fixing to take a ride in the cars. Don't forget to stop by Spanky'sHotRods.com. Pick you up a new Spanky's t-shirt, hat, hoodie, whatever you think you might want. Spend some time on there, see the stuff that I've built in the past, but most of all, just enjoy yourself. We're also on all the social media sites. Check us out there, give us a like, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and just become part of the family. But most of all, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell because we will be going live in just 500 more subscribers, and we're gonna make a big party out of it. Anyway, so thanks for watching today. Don't run off because we're fixing to take a ride. Now get out in the garage and go build something. Now let's go for a ride.